Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Stitching Tales. I am Johanna Lundström, the author of several sewing books, including Sewing Jeans and Fit for Knits, and I also have a YouTube channel where I teach sewing, plus a sewing pattern line under the brand name The Last Stitch.
My name is Malena Hjerpe. I work as a freelance pattern maker, and I also create my own PDF pattern under the name Hazelhen Patterns. And Johanna, you can add something to your list now of what you do, what you create, what you have launched. Tell us.
Yeah. So this is very, very exciting. Last night, and we're recording this on February the 12th. So long-time listeners have heard about me moaning and sighing and also being excited about a project that I've been mentally working on for basically a year and practically working on it for 6 months. I took my entire day job vacation and worked on this, and now I've been just churning. So, and I'm finally finished with my video sewing course on how to make your own pair of jeans.
Woohoo! Yay!
Almost, yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it's almost 50 lessons, 15 videos showing every single step that you need to know for making your own pair of jeans. Everything from how to prepare the fabric, how to set up your machine, how to do the proper stitching, pressing, sewing a jean zipper.
Can you show
pockets.
us?
Yeah, of course.
Video podcast. Do you have an example to show? I've seen snippets from the cover stitch course, and I loved that so much, like the whole setup, that you can just click on your chapter, get straight to the video, get straight to the point. You don't have like the logo for 3-4 seconds on every single video. It's like, I know I'm watching this like brand's video, you don't need to show me this, and the video is like 30 seconds long, and like, yeah, I'm talking about the Clo 3D videos. Yeah. So annoying. But yeah, show me yours.
Yes, I will definitely do that. And I agree with you. Making good video tutorials is an art form, and that's why it's taken me so long, because actually to keep it short and to the point, it's a big editing challenge. And so I had to use lots of different methods, and it's just not me talking. I'll show every step, and I use graphics, I use illustrations, I use like arrows, pointers, everything, like, because that's the kind of level you really need, because I want everyone to be so totally focused on, there's no like dead air. Because sometimes I think a challenge when doing tutorials generally is, the teacher, keeps on speaking and have lots of points, but you're like, just show me what to do.
Yeah, I know what I'm watching you, because I don't know how to do it, but I know what I want to do. Just bring it.
Exactly. And that's, if you're like me, I think you're going to love this course, because that's exactly how I done it. So every course is just really small. So it's about 3 to 5 minutes. So you don't have to like go back and forth for every single step. I show you this specific thing, you do it. You can of course go back and watch it again, because this course is also available eternally. So it's not like you don't pay a subscription fee, you pay a one-time fee, and then you can go back if you want to try another technique for sewing back pockets. You can just jump to that chapter and see how I do it. So yeah, very easy. So I'm definitely going to do a screen share now, and I'm going to do my best. I know a lot of you are listening to the audio version of this, but I will do my best, and Malena can please help me. And first I'm going to actually show the sales page here, so you get a little bit of view on the let me see here when we have the screen share. Yeah.
But it's a definite art to writing something very, how do you say, concise, compact. My favorite quote, I don't remember who said it now, and I'm paraphrasing, like, I didn't have time to write a short letter, so I'm writing a long letter, because that goes fast. And it's like, yeah, right, keeping it short, consistent, that's an art.
Exactly. So if you're looking at the screen now, and if not, I can explain to you. So this is the course page, as you can see. And here I have a short video. We can see all the details where I mention here. So I use a combination of video, graphics, information, so animation, so all the kind of stuff. So it's very, very easy to follow along. And as I mentioned, the course has 50 lessons in total. Most of those are videos. Also have a few bonus pattern toolkits as well that you will find useful. Those are downloadable PDFs. And basically, it's just a course that, every single detail that you need to know about sewing jeans, probably a lot of things that you've never seen before, I will tell you. And even if you have my book, Sewing Jeans, this one goes much more into detail because I'm spending hours basically showing you every single step. So you can totally follow along. Even if you have my book, I think you will find this content really, really useful. And now on the screen I'm showing here, so it's basically like divided into different chapters. The first one is called Cutting and Pressing Denim. Then I talk about seams and stitching. And then I have sections where I show how to sew every single. I start with the front pockets, then we move on to the zipper fly, yoke in the back crotch, back pockets, side seams, waistband, belt loops, button and buttonholes, rivets, and then you finish off with hemming. So yeah, the entire process. And I think the course is about 2 hours in total. So it's definitely not, you won't be able to sew a pair of jeans in 2 hours, but I don't want to waste your time. I know that you are busy sewing, so that's why I did this course. So you just can look it up, how to do it, and then you just replicate it on the sewing machine. And when you're done with that, you move on to the next step, watch the video, maybe scroll through it once again. And it also has captions. So I know sometimes my pronunciation in English, and there are a few words I'm still struggling with, but don't worry, you can just pick the closed caption so you can read the text as well. And also on every course, I've also written the exact script also, so you can read and follow along. So if you think, why did she say that with a weird pronunciation? Don't worry, because I've thought about it. So I'm also going to share now so you can see behind the scenes, because I do get a lot of questions. So what is a video course? And I know a lot of us, we perhaps find tutorials on YouTube, or we use a sewing book, or maybe we follow a reel, or perhaps a blog tutorial. But a video sewing course is quite different in that way, is the fact that everything is so nicely collected and curated. So instead of you having to like browse through and search and find different tutorials for every single step, it's organized. I think that's the biggest value of getting a video sewing course instead of following a random tutorial or trying to find a blog post or something. So what I'm showing now in the view, for those of us that are watching the video version, here you can see the curriculum basically. So every chapter here, and it's, as I said, organized into different sections. So you just click, for instance, on front pockets, and then I show how to sew the coin pocket. The coin pocket is that little tiny pocket on the right hand where you can put a coin or a key, sometimes it's also referred to. And I will just put on the video here, you can see. So let's start sewing, and we're going to start off with preparing the coin pocket. So you start by folding and pressing the coin pocket opening. Now here the seam allowance in total, so that I can hear a little bit of my voice as well. I tried to best to do a pronunciation in hopefully you were able to understand the English. I've never had any feedback regarding that, so hopefully it's good enough.
Definitely, yeah. So when you buy this course, what do you get? Like, do you get a link? Do you get not PDF then? Like, what's the next step after buying it? Yeah,
so you buy it and then you create your user account. And if you already have my other video sewing course, Cover Stitch Success, it's all under the same umbrella. So you do not have to get a separate account for that. But otherwise, it's the same as you would get on any membership site. You just
so it's a login, basically.
It's a login, basically. And then you go into the view of the course, where you find all the lessons organized in order, for sewing order, and videos for every step. And it's very easy to navigate. As I said, I think the biggest benefit of getting a video course is the fact that it's all collected and organized in a very easy to navigate manner, which you can't really find anywhere else or for free, because that's not how things work. You have to search for every specific thing, and here you have You just go there and you don't have to, as I said, I really picked every single thing as a separate lesson, because I think that you don't want to watch, so start from finish. Usually maybe you feel confident about how to press denim, so you just want to, your struggle is how to sew a jean zipper the professional way. Then you go straight to that chapter. You just click on that, and there's always an introduction for every lesson where I just cover the basics, and then I show the methods, and then I have a small summary of a sewing order, so that you get like a reminder again of how everything works.
But I think that is such a good way of doing it, because I mean, you are at a specific step when you sew. You don't. We can't learn 5 steps at a time. Like, I need to watch like that specific thing, then I need to do it, maybe redo it and try again and watch it again. But that specific thing, then I can move on to the next one. So having like a 20-minute video tutorial of something, it's just like that's going to be too much information at once, and I need to go back and forth then, or I need to just find that specific thing. I need to like find where it is in that 20-minute video. So I think this is like such an amazing setup, just with everything collected, everything clearly written. Like, then I can easily search what is it that I need to know right now.
Yeah.
Just click on that and go straight to it. I love that. I heard one. This was about food blogging, and like, yeah, I want to have that recipe. I don't need your story of how you inherited that recipe from your grandmother. A cute story, a nice storytelling. Yeah. I just want the recipe. Can you skip that 15 minutes of storytelling before it? Like, I just want the information. So I'm full on with your concept of way of doing this.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm the same way, and I agree with you. I think there was when it comes to recipe size, there was they had this idea that you wanted to show as much ads as possible in order to make some money out of blogging. Totally understandable. So as you say, there was this massive word salad to show you how the salad is made, right? And I think that especially now when people are using cell phones as their primary way of taking information on the internet, it's even more annoying, because it's you really want that straight to the point navigation, that you can find what you need, and you don't have to scroll through lots of useless information or disturbing information. And speaking of a cell phone as well, you can watch this as well on your mobile phone or your tablet. You just log in. There's no app. You just log in the web browser, and then you just click to show only the video. So you don't have any other text. You can just fill the window of your mobile phone with the actual video. So it's very easy to see. And also because there's also captions as well, so you will be able to follow along. So yeah, and also
and I'm asking for a friend now. What happened when you lose your password or login information?
Yeah.
What do you do?
That has happened to several friends of my previous course. So yeah, what you do, you just email me, and then I will give you a temporary password, and you can do it yourself. And also, I should also say, you can do a reset yourself for sure. Usually, I would say 9 out of times, it works, and sometimes the password reset gets eaten up by a spam filter or something, and then you just email me at contact@delastitch.com. And of course, if you have any questions regarding the course as well, just email me. And I've also done at the bottom of the course sales page, there's also a frequently asked questions that I'm going to keep updating as I get more questions. And also, I thought it was really interesting, because I know a lot of people already have my book Sewing Jeans. It's been selling really well over the years, and I'm sure some might think, oh, do I need the course as well? And I would say yes. Can I say that? I know it's my course. But 2 reasons for that. First of all, I mean, the book comes with limitations because there are still images. And while I also have some YouTube tutorials as well where I show some of the steps, it's completely different thing to see every single detail that goes into a making, and that moving visual I find is extremely helpful, especially when you're sewing more difficult things like, say, a jean zipper. Having that explained. And also what's been interesting, I wrote my book Sewing Jeans, I think it was about 4 years ago, and I've actually learned even more things now, and more tips on how to simplify things. So it kind of builds on the knowledge that I share in Sewing Jeans. But if you get the course, you will get so many revelations that I've had from just making more and more jeans that I also share. So I think it's a very helpful companion to my book. And also, if you do not have my book Sewing Jeans, there's a bundle option that you can get the ebook version as well at a reduced price as well. Which brings me to, because I'm officially launching the course on February the 20th, and hopefully you're listening on the day this pod is out, which is on February the 16th, right? Can I do the math? No, 18.
Yeah.
February 18, yes. So there will be a code in the show notes of where you will actually get 20% off, and this is like a super flash sale, so only loyal early listeners to the podcast will be able to get this early bird reduction. And the code is Denim Tales, as in the name of our podcast, and denim. The course is called Denim Mastery, by the way. And if you just use that code or click the link in the show notes, you will get the reduction applied when you hit the when you go to that page. And that ends on midnight Central European time, February the 20th, which is the official release date. So you can grab the course. This is like a secret. This is a secret code because it will not work once the course is out officially. So yeah, I definitely hope that you take the chance to look into the course and see if it's for you. And also I also have preview videos so you can actually see some of the stuff without having to pay for it.
Amazing. So now with this big project, you're done.
Yeah. It's
How do you feel?
It's confused, I guess. It's like, am I done? I mean, I am, but I'm like, the sensation in my body is still in that mode of doing something. And it's kind of, it's interesting because when you're in it, it feels so intense, and then there's always a little bit of a sadness when you're done. There's a mix of relief and sadness to think, okay, so now what am I supposed to do now then, right? And as a business owner as well, there's an easy answer to that, Johanna. You need to do marketing for this course.
Yeah, that's the next step. Do you have any strategies, plans? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. I will, first of all, on YouTube, I will do a live stream on how to sew your own jeans. And I will actually do a new tutorial as well, which I haven't done, which is how to sew a button fly on YouTube. So that's basically a way of getting people onto my email list, because I have a free bonus download. If you watch the video, you can download it. And that way you will get on my email list, and there will be like a sales sales funnel or a sales channel happening. So that's one way. I will definitely do more Instagram content. I will do some animations. I will do some carousels. I will probably do a couple of reels. Of course, I will use my blog to talk about this and all the other channels. And I will definitely do a good job of collecting testimonials early this time, because that was kind of there are always things falling through the cracks. And I feel like I did that with the cover stitch course. It was like so many stuff, and I just forgot to take testimonials, even though I have over 400 students taking my cover stitch course. So, I mean, so I'm also going to do that now, collect testimonials from the start.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Do you have any tough question now? Do you have any plans on doing anything marketing with like further outside of your own channels?
Yeah, I've thought about that, and again, it's my struggle.
I know, this is like
yeah, I know, it's so uncomfortable. The answer is, I thought about it. Have I settled on anything? No. But anyone that wants to help me with this, suggest just DM us or drop us a comment on our
one
Instagram
thing
account.
that I really think you should do. I mean, there are lots of Facebook groups sewing related, and some have very strict guidelines that no, it's not okay to do commercials, ads for your own company. And then, I mean, obviously, you need to respect that. But some of these groups actually have like, yeah, it's okay to do some commercials, like not a lot, but some. And if you especially have some offer, then it's okay. So just add a post about your course in those Facebook groups. It's always a little bit, I don't like it either to do it, but that is like such an easy way to reach other people that are maybe not following you already. So that is like, I think, one of the easiest thing to reach outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah, very good idea. And I think I have to start doing this more because, as I've talked about previously, I mean, I am still working a day job as well, even though I'm currently on leave to work on other projects. But I think, to be honest, if I don't get outside this comfort zone and try to build a bigger audience and a bigger brand recognition and name recognition, I don't think I will be able to realize my dream of doing this full time. I mean, that's basically the situation. I think if I look to successful brands in our space and of course other space, they have been really good at collaborating and, you know, bringing attention and getting outside their own, as you say, your own audience. I'm pretty good at, you know, building my audience from YouTube. I would say is probably the best way I do it, but still, again, there. I mean, just to as we mentioned in the previous episode, I got a wonderful mention from Mimi Gee, which is a famous sewing personality, which she has her own sewing pattern line, and she has
And she was talking
courses.
about your jeans book.
Yeah, exactly. And that was just a couple of weeks ago. It was like, that was a miracle. I mean, speaking of timing, and especially in the US, I've seen the sales of my print version of my sewing book, jeans book, been steady up since she mentioned it. And so clearly, you know, if I get outside my own audience, it works better for my business. I mean,
Surprise.
Unfortunately, not everyone knows who I am and what I do. That's, I mean, I'm 10 years into this iteration of the business, and clearly most sewing people who have no idea who I am still.
And I think you have forgotten about the Swedish sewist community. We do have a big community here.
Yeah.
I know that you want, like, Sweden is such a small country. So to have great success in this niched field, you need to meet an international audience. But don't forget that the Swedish community exists. They, like the Facebook groups, they are quite big. So, and I think it's especially wonderful for a Swede to realize that, oh, we have this. I mean, you have produced a lot of content already. So I think you have a community here that needs to find you.
Yeah, you're very right.
You're taking notes now, or?
The phone rang.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were taking notes. Like, yes,
Yeah,
yes, I need to reach out to.
Yeah, the whole world called me. Clearly, I had it on mute, but it clearly didn't work. Yeah, for sure. I agree with you, and because I've always done my content in English. So for me, I've sort of forgotten about the fact, because I've always thought, you know, because I'm not really offering anything from Sweden, even though people in Sweden are really great at English, so it's not huge. But yeah, it happens all the time that I get email from Swedish sewers, and like, I had no idea you were from Sweden. And I'm like, yeah, but I have a like 2 dots over my O, so I mean that could be a clue, Lundström. But so yeah, clearly I have no name recognition whatsoever in my home country. You're right, Malena. I've done a poor job of that.
No, but you have a great market potential, and also like Norway, Denmark. I mean, you always, of course, when you find a local, you want to support your local businesses. So I think you have a great local community here. So don't forget about the locals.
Yeah, thank you for the pep talk. Yeah, this is going to be an ongoing challenge for me. Please, listeners, follow along when I try to get outside my comfort zone. Malena is great because she's really pushing me for this, because I am horrible at this. Honestly, I mean, it's an amazing that I've managed to do this decent well without ever, going outside that kind of comfort zone when it comes to marketing, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
I totally understand that you are comfortable of doing collaborations or whatever with other, because you are uncomfortable to reaching out to them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you're
asking
not
for favors.
against collaborations. I mean, for
No,
example,
we
if
do
there would be somebody who has a denim pattern, I mean, imagine how great success that would be. Like, well, somebody's doing a pattern and you have the course, let's talk. So it's not that you're against it, it's just you don't dare to reach out.
Yeah, to people that I do not know. I mean, you and I do tons of collaboration, including this podcast and books, and so I love doing collaborations. But that's also because for me it's easier when I know people organically. I think it's what you call the cold calling, when you basically reach out to people that you have no prior relationship. And also I'm really bad at like building relationships online, because I'm not that much online anymore, because for various reasons, so I don't really participate as much as I used to. Again, that also makes me a bit more uncomfortable, because I don't have that kind of social interactions that could like a warm-up into actually reaching out to people. If I chatted to more people online, it would be much easier. Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
We're sending it out to the universe. Don't be afraid to reach out to Johanna, because she loves collaborations. She's just a very bad starter.
yeah, but I'm very reliable. I mean, if you want to collaborate with me, you will not be disappointed, because I always show up and do the work. It's not bad.
I mean, I
I'm
can
not flaky.
do a testimonial to that. It's like, we started with, what did we start with? I got a book from you, then I helped you with the grading, then things escalated, we got a book, we have a podcast. I mean, who knows where it's gonna end?
Who knows? Yeah.
Things can happen.
Yeah, I know, and this is very helpful conversation for me. I think it's very good to like put the spotlight on this particular issue for me, because it definitely hits home. I'll be the first to admit I can do better.
No, but I mean, marketing. I think most of small company owners, businesses, the toughest thing is the marketing. I mean, we can do the product, we can do it well, we can be proud of it, but to market it, we need a marketing team.
Yeah, we do. Anyways, enough about me, Malena. What's going on in your world?
Well, I mean, not so much. I'm working 100% with freelance work, so I don't have that much extra time. But this week we sent away our youngest to my parents, so we have only had one kid now for a week, which makes everything horrible to say. It makes it a lot more easier. So I've taken like these extra hours that I've had and actually working on the Bilberry instructions. And it's actually gone. I always think that the instructions is going to take like so much time, which they do. But I kind of forget like, I have already done so much pre-work. I mean, I have done all the illustrations already. I have the text. I'm still working on the text because, I mean, I've had text for a t-shirt, how to sew a t-shirt, and I have text for how to sew the Nipita dress. Combining those two, tweaking a little bit, then that's going to be the instructions. Like, it's not, I'm not coming up with it from scratch. I have like a really solid foundation that I can take all text from. I have done the fabric calculations with that. I mean, I forgot that I've done this. I did it like a year ago, and they sound like, you know,
Yeah.
you do so much prep work, but then you kind of forget what
Yeah.
you've done.
Yeah.
And when you realize like, oh, sweet, I have already done all the layouts and fabric calculations. I just need to put it on a page in the instructions booklet now. It doesn't
Yeah.
take that long. So I actually come quite far with the instructions. So fingers crossed. Maybe it's not gonna be that much further until I'm done with it. And soon we are gonna have, in a couple of weeks, we're gonna have what do you call it? Sports holiday here. All the kids have like 1 week off when you're supposed to go skiing, sporting, whatever. Taking advantage of nice winter weather here. And my husband is going to take the kids to visit his family, his parents. So I'm going to have a couple of days like being alone and have a whole weekend alone. So I'm planning to do some photo samples sewing during those days. Actually, I bought fabrics already for it. You know, when you're like, this is what my, how I need to start working with this again. What should I start with? Well, I started to buy the fabrics. You know how it is when you want to go to the gym more often. Well, then I just buy new workout clothes and maybe I get the inspiration. It was a little bit the same thing here for me. That if I buy these fabrics, maybe then I'll get a little bit of a kick and actually start doing the instructions. So I received two other fabrics. I have 2 more on the way. So fingers crossed. And small kids parent, you never know until the day you wave goodbye. Things can happen. They can get sick. I can get sick. Everyone can get sick. Been there. Yeah. So I mean, knock on wood. We'll see. But things are happening.
Yeah, that's so exciting because when we did, I think, the first podcast of this year, you made you had an ambition at least to release 2 patterns this year, and I think it's looking pretty good, right? Because one is already released, technically speaking, the Nipita dress in the Tauco magazine, and I guess if you people that hasn't listened to previous episode, I don't understand why not, but you should go back and listen. Can you tell a little bit about the top that you're working on now? What is it made in? What type of materials? What can you expect? So can you give a little bit of a teaser on the?
It's a top in jersey knit, ideally for like single jersey, viscose or cotton elastane. It's not like the soup. It's a more relaxed fit, so it kind of a little bit of a less stretch to it. It has like a big pleat at the front, and then it has like an open collar and a dropped shoulder with like a sleeve cuff. So it's like basically a short sleeve. A little bit more relaxed fit, and it's gonna be both in like for B cup and D cup. The B cup is it doesn't have any seams or any bust arch or anything, but then the D cup is having like seams from the shoulder all the way down to the bottom hem, so you basically get a shape for a little bit bigger bust, and it also have a seam at the back, so you get a little bit nicer shape at the waist. And these seams are also gonna give you more freedom to, if you want to add even more with, it's gonna give that more flexibility if you want to do like a full bust adjustment or something like that. So I really want to get done with this pattern because, I mean, long time listener, you have heard me talking about this before. I actually made this design 4 years ago when I did the Clo 3D. I took a course in it. Then I did this as a school project. And it has been in the pipeline ever since then. And now I'm getting on the verge that I'm getting a little bit annoyed and tired of it. I need to get it out now.
Yeah, I remember that. I think it was in fall of 2021, because that was just when I moved to this studio when you showed me. And wasn't it the fact that, didn't you have like a poll where you had your Instagram followers to pick a design? And what's so wonderful about the bilberry top is that it has actually detail. I mean, a lot of times with knit tops, you think of just a simple t-shirt, but this, I think it has like a blouse vibe. And the cool thing about it is it's easy to sew, but it has like the color and the stitching and the detailing and the seaming. So it looks, I love this kind of, think of it, the kind of office casual thing.
Yeah,
Exactly. It has that dressed up way look to it, but it still has a softness and the ease of making that a jersey top had, and it was because it was so nice to see that a lot of people gravitate to this style. So there's clearly an interest of doing this kind of a little bit more.
Yeah, the whole school project was that I made 8 different patterns, and I mean, I did everything in Clo then, and asked my followers, like, which one vote? Which one do you prefer as my next PDF pattern? And I wasn't like, I almost did not include this one because they had just on the pictures like some drag lines that I wasn't like 100% happy with how the picture, like how they looked in Clo. But I was like, well, I'll include it. And it got the majority of the votes, like clear majority. I was like, okay, well, clearly I'm not a buyer and can pick and choose like the that has one most potential. So yeah, that was a really nice conclusion of that project. Yeah, but it was a long time ago. Now I need to finish it, and it's also gonna like be so easy to hack and make it into a dress, for example. So I've planned that already. I bought some extra fabric in one color that I'm gonna make into a longer tunic or an actual dress or something because it's really easy. You just make it longer and you have a dress of it. So I'm looking forward to it, and it's been so long time since I actually was in my studio and just sewed something. So that I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so excited. And I'm also curious because you ordered some fabrics now. So what is your thought process? Do you have a kind of a color mood board? Do you have like brand colors? What kind of colors do you gravitate when you're doing your samples for the photo shoot?
Yeah, I'm really bad with picking colors. I usually some shade of blues, or I love Petrol's blue. I've actually had, I think I've talked about this before in our pod that I have already sewn 2 samples in some light pink and blue grayish. But when you have them in different lighting, it's just like, these are not good colors. These are, I mean, I will give them to my friend who does all the photos. Maybe she will do some magic with them. We'll see. But no, I was like, no, I'm gonna need to buy new fabrics and do new samples that I'm happy with. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be annoyed with those that I'm not really. No, but it's colors are always a little bit tricky. Like what will look good on in your Instagram feed, and also what will I, because I'm gonna wear these samples. I also want to take photos with myself wearing them. Like, what do I like? And I mean, it's always some shade of blues. I would say I do have my color scheme.
Yeah, and it's nice to put some thought into that. I guess especially also when you have an online shop and you definitely want to have a somewhat cohesive look. It's not that everything has to be the same color, but for instance, it can look a little bit if sometimes you have a few garments that has very neutral hues and then you have something in shocking pink. Me personally, I think it's good to have some type of cohesiveness too. It can be different colors, but it might have the same type of saturation or things like that. So, I mean, definitely goes more thinking into that then. And I always will say again that the times when I haven't put enough thought into the color of the fabric, I have always been slightly displeased and ended up oftentimes sewing more samples because that are better fitted to my brands. And as you say, also because you want to share, you're more excited to share photos of garments that you like than just. There's a thing, you have to be proud of that's what we love about this work that we do as well, that we are able to control these things, because otherwise when you're working for another employer, another brand, they have so much say, but here we have full control of every single thing, and we love to use that full control.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have to choose something that suits us, because we are the one who is gonna work with it, see it every day. So yeah, definitely.
And also, I think also another good idea, because when we put a lot of effort into sewing patterns, and we definitely want them to have longevity. I mean, that it shouldn't be like a fad and next year nobody wants to buy the sewing pattern. So again, picking the type of fabrics and prints that are a bit more, timeless is the wrong word, but they're a bit more classic, and that doesn't date as fast is also helpful as well, because some type of prints, for instance, or some type of colors are very specific for a specific year, or a decade or something like that. But yeah, it kind of looks dated quicker than some other materials. So that's also something I think one has to consider when it comes to
and I think,
fabric picking.
When making a pattern, I always think of like what different type of fabrics are there in the shop. For this one, it's suitable for like cotton elastan, like a heavier like t-shirt fabric, or a more drapier viscose, like those viscose elastan mixes with a really nice drape to it. So because if you create something that you don't really find the fabric for, I mean, that's going to be a difficult match then.
Yeah, for
so
sure. That's a very great point.
In consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you want it to be accessible in every. I guess that's also why we like to work with pretty simple. We both do a lot of knits, and we prefer to use pretty traditional knit fabrics for sure. And it's also good to have like a specific fabric idea, because then you know the pattern is adapted to that kind of knit fabric, for instance. So you will be confident that the result will look similar to the things that we show in the photos, which again is also really important. You know, that the finished garment that matches up to the kind of visuals that you see on our website.
Yeah, that's the difficult thing about shopping online as well. Like, I mean, you have no idea what the quality, because you can't feel it, but also the colors. It is. I mean, I know that small companies that I usually shop from, smaller companies, they of course struggle as well to get the exact color tone right on when they upload the photos to their website. Because, I mean, obviously it's going to look different on each and everyone's computer or phone or whatever. So, yeah, I understand their struggle. It's always a little bit of a gambling when you don't. And the photos, the samples that the fabrics that I bought for the samples that I didn't like the color of, I bought them in store. I bought them myself. I saw the actual fabric before I even bought them, so I have no one to blame. But you know, when it's like some colors, they look really nice in companion with their other friends in similar colors.
Yeah.
But then when you remove them from those colors, it just looks weird. And the different lighting. So again, I hope my friend has some magical skills with, which is really good. I mean, with finding the right light when taking photos. Yeah. So I'm like, fingers crossed. Good luck.
Yeah, I think it's going to turn out awesome. It's pretty good, and there's always, you can always tweak or take some new photos later on as well. I mean, sometimes we do get stuck on a little bit details. Another thing I should also say when it comes to fabric choices, that while a lot of people, of course, will sew their garments in black or dark gray or dark navy, you have to do samples that do not have those colors, because you have to see the detailing. So you have to work with quite light fabrics.
Yeah,
yeah. Especially as you say, there is seaming, especially on the front for the C-cup and in the back. I mean, those details just disappear. So I always have to do very light, at least one or two very light samples, so people can get it. I love my navy and my black, and I've shown samples for that on my latest pattern, the video pants, but I also have a very light gray where you can see all the details. That's
a good point. So I mean, that's what I like. That's the main, like the most important thing. It has to be a lighter color, because otherwise all the details will get lost. which is a little bit tricky because I do love my blacks as well, and dark grays especially. But yeah, those are not so. Doesn't maybe look so appealing on the photos.
Yeah. So it's definitely a tricky thing, but it's also kind of problem solving that we can spend a lot of time thinking about when we're running our own businesses. It's all the kind of things, and I guess that's also the satisfying thing as well, that you like have to do this completeness, every little thing. So are you done with the pattern formatting of with the grading and all the pattern lines and things like that? That's all done?
Yeah, it's been for like a year or something.
Oh, right. So basically
it's just
the only thing is
instructions that are like
and
the last thing.
and also of course the photos and the photo samples,
yes.
right? So I would say you're pretty close to finish it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you
get
the sewing
for
time,
several years. But it's the
so
pattern
exciting.
instructions that is the final.
Yeah.
But now that I've started, I made the general layout, and I also changed before I did the instructions in InDesign. Do you say that?
InDesign, yeah.
A software. But I never really learned how to do it, so it was always like, I mean, if you write a book, yes, you have to do InDesign or something similar. Like, you can't do it in Illustrator; it becomes too heavy, too big. So I tried to do the InDesign for my first patterns, but it was just like a struggle since I don't know the program that well. It was just so frustrating that it was not working the way I wanted to. And then I switched and started to do the instruction as well in Illustrator. And that was just so much easier for me. Since it is still quite a small, I mean, I think I'm 22, 23 pages now. It's manageable. If you do a book, no, Illustrator will not be workable. But these kind of small projects, for me, it has been so much easier then, because I know how to work in Illustrator like pretty well. So that shift is like, but this is more working friendly for me. So that has also been like a little bit more of a. It's not a like, I don't want to open the program because I don't know how to work with it. Now it's easier to pick it up again and to start working with it again. So that has been good, a good change.
Yeah, you always have to figure out your workflow. I mean, that's really, really important. I guess that's also a trick for any time. The more we do it and the more we're able to keep up the flow, the easier it gets. I think you and I talk a lot about this, the fact that we release sewing patterns quite rarely, I would say. There usually a lot of time in between, which means that you mentally have to start again and being reminded of your routines and your work process and everything like that. So I mean, I would love to do. I really got I got great reception for the Weedy Pants, and I had pretty decent sales, good sales, I would say, for my small brand. So I felt like, yeah, it was so nice to like ride on that wave and just release another sewing pattern. But then, of course, I do a completely different thing, do the video course instead. So and now we're going to start working on our next book, which we will also talk more about in a future episode here. But yeah, it's also sometimes you kind of want to do something different instead of just doing the same thing again, which is probably the smartest thing to do if you would like do it right.
Because a lot of things is just like, how do I do this in the best way, in the most efficient way? And when you start it all over again and you don't really remember what you did, like what was the smart conclusions from your previous project, you have to reinvent the wheel again. So yeah, you would be so much more efficient if you actually did it on a more regular basis.
Yeah, I think that's the secret to why several smaller sewing pattern companies are able to be quite productive, because that's the only thing that they do, and they do it and they have the system, and it's repeatable and easy to replicate. So it's just doing the same thing over and over again. And I think one will probably save so much time doing that for sure. So maybe in the future, who knows? We'll see what kind of directions our sewing pattern companies is always ever evolving. Who knows what we'll end up with. Yeah, so that was a bit of an update. I think we managed to cover the two biggest things happening. That we are both working on pretty big projects. Mine is actually released or sneak released when you're listening to this episode, but my sewing course is out on February 20th officially. But if you want to get that early bird sale, you need to use the code Denim Tales, or even better, click on the link, because then the reduction will be applied as soon as you get to the sales page, so you do not have to enter any codes. So I would love to hear your feedback if you have tried the course and what you think about it. It's very, very valuable, and I definitely see myself doing more sewing courses in the future, but not this year.
Well, understandably, you need a little break from it.
Yeah. I don't want to edit any more sewing course videos. I do have to start doing more YouTube videos, so I guess I will have to get my editing skills, keep them going. Hopefully it's going to be easier. And also, Malena, we are looking forward to hearing more about your upcoming sewing pattern.
Yeah, this year will, fingers crossed, be the year when I release it. Finally.
I'm very convinced you will be able to do it sooner than you think, because when you get going, you're always so quick.
Yeah, it's the thing. If you prioritize it, then it will be good done. I mean, it is as simple as that.
True that. All right then, thank you so much for listening. I am Johanna Lundström.
And I am Malena Hjerpe. Bye!
Bye bye!